I am telling you, the most positive thing you can do right now is care a little bit less than they do. So this is a video that shows you how I learned to love my most important resource, my time. And so can you. A lot of people love positivity and love and judgment-free hippie values. This ain't that kind of video. Some people love to hate on everything, say everything is garbage, and act like the high school dropouts who love to be miserable. This ain't that kind of video either. So what kind of video is it? Well, this is the good one. This is the one where you keep your head on your shoulders and enjoy life for what it is, instead of pretending or complaining about how you want it to be. And the key to all this is, in a word, irreverence. I remember when I was a kid, and us young millennials were young, and the worst thing you could say to us would be calling us a tryhard. Caring about anything's for losers, am I right, fellas? And I want to say, I think we were onto something. We just didn't know it yet. It's been a rough 20 years, fellas. I'm not gonna lie to you. Especially if you're a guy who likes things. Like what things? All the things. Any things. It started with some book stuff. I think it was a group of sci-fi writers. I think it's called Skinny Puppy. Anyways, if I get the details wrong, complain in the comments. The irony of it will be great. Yeah, so it was an award show. It was a bunch of sci-fi writers. It was a publishing house. It was great. It was niche. And people in niches generally have a higher interest than the average person in a thing. So niches make things cool because hipsters make things cool. We used to call them hipsters anyway. Are you still calling them that, or is it just vibes or something now? But you know what I mean. Hipsters were always the ones that made the great cup of coffee. They were the coolest sci-fi authors, and they had their little awards, and they made the cool video games like, I don't know, Minecraft. Then over time, these things got big and they got popular. Problem is, once things get popular, a certain type of person wants in. You know the type. They don't really do anything. They don't really have any talent, but they want to be popular. And they really love to pretend to be communists or something stupid. Anyway, they're on Twitch all the time. There's like that Destiny, Vaush, Anita Sarkeesian, yeah. I bet you never thought you'd hear that name again, huh? I think it was the newer one was Sugar Baby Inc. or some other narrative consultant company. There's a bunch of them anyway, it doesn't really matter. The way it works is one person gets in, and then they start bringing in all their friends. And once there's enough people in enough positions where they have some power, they start to change things. Which things? All the things. And you get rainbow flags everywhere, and diversity, and inclusion, and love, and peace, and happiness. And there's like room for everything, except for anything that made your niche fun in the first place. And I gotta tell you, it makes it really hard to root for the people who seem to hate everything and make it horrible for everybody but themselves. It's selfish, you know? Like when I walk into the hipster coffee shop, I want to have a good cup of coffee. I don't want to have to drink a cup of coffee where the guy's like, oh, it always comes like that. Everybody puts broccoli in there. And I'm like, bro, why did you ruin my coffee? And I'm sure if you're listening to this video, you've probably heard or at least been familiar with this big hullabaloo they called Gamergate. A bunch of guys with no lives and a bunch of woke guys with no lives started World War III. If instead of with guns, it was high school shaming and bullying and ruining some industries we all like. There's a lot to it. It's kind of beside the point though. It's not that kind of video. Anywho, the point is, one bad apple got in the bunch, kind of ruined it for everybody, and then everybody had a big fight, and we learned a bunch. So fast forward to now, we're at a point where I can tell you what this video kind of gets to the core of. I saw the newest one, Warhammer. If you're not familiar with it, it's a tabletop role-playing game. Like, they made this game about evil demons and dystopic hellscapes with dehumanized people who treat each other like garbage, where there's no value to human life. And people are mutilated just for the funsies by an evil cabal of powerful people. And then they added diversity and inclusion to it. So now it's just evil. The point is, I always laugh too, where it's like, oh my god, you made a dystopic hellscape. Well, you made women Warhammer Space Marines. They're like, no, not like that. The point is, this isn't the first time, nor will it be the last time something like this happens. And people act the same every way, every time, hoping just hoping that it'll turn out differently this time. It doesn't. One group bullies the hell out of the hipsters until the hipsters go away, or they lose their jobs, or they get banned from Twitter or YouTube or whatever platform they're talking on. And then the other group becomes the edgy teenager who laughs at them, who mocks them, and complains constantly. And I'm not saying their complaints aren't valid, it's that they're buying into the framing. Like, I don't know if you're a fan of the quartering videos, but that's the point. 500 videos complaining about Captain Marvel. All it did was cement the idea that Captain Marvel was the most important person in the MCU because 5,000 videos existed for everybody who hated her. I mean, it's at the point where one group just wants to ruin something until nobody wants it anymore, and the other group is making a career out of complaining that the first group wants to ruin a thing until nobody wants it anymore. Now we're in this place where everybody would be out of a job if they made anything good again, and hey, nobody wants that. So yeah, what can you or I do about it? One thing. Take our toys and go home, really. I mean, I've got other videos on the channel where I talk about how games aren't games anymore. They're gambling simulators. They removed the fun and they exchanged it with addiction. And it's the same thing here, just different flavors. They removed the fun and replaced it with political messaging, weird contradictory value systems, and angry colored-haired people. But all that stuff they're taking isn't some centuries-old tradition. It's brand new stuff. It's stuff that's been here less than a decade. Like, do you remember the Last of Us? Everybody was angry at the rainbow people and the murdering wrong peoples and all that stuff. That thing existed like in 2013. Just ignore it and leave. The only language companies speak is money. And if they're willing to turn games into half-finished, one-armed bandits demanding that you buy 1 million copies before they even patch it so the game is playable, looking at you, Starfield, they're definitely gonna fill your game with Trump and Biden memes hoping that you buy into it as well. Like, yeah, I get it. It sucks. Nobody likes it. But you have to give up a lot of fun games, just like the Skinny Puppy guys had to give up on their niche book company, or I had to give up on RoboCop and Roadhouse and Weekend at Bernie's because diversity and inclusion and bad writing and too much CGI and horrible fights and name recognition and IP, like whatever. Because look, if somebody made a new one recently, people can make new stuff today. And if they don't, nothing's stopping you from playing the old stuff and enjoying yourself. Same as I am. I'm watching the old Total Recall for the 500th time again, right after I finish watching Akira. It's better every time. And yeah, they'll make some new stupid version of Total Recall that I don't really care about, which they kind of did. Doesn't matter to me. You want me to watch it? Make it good. That's all I ask. Or make something new. Like, I'll never understand people who buy the thing because they fall for marketing hype, and then they get mad when they fail for the exact same goofiness. It's like Charlie Brown. He's trying to kick that football, and Lucy pulls it out every single time, but not this time. Oh, this time too. So then you make 500 videos on YouTube about how Lucy is ruining footballs by pulling it away every time. I mean, not that it matters. Crappy books, horrible games, badly written movies, they aren't my enemy. My enemy is anything that wants my time without giving me anything in return. So yeah, don't watch people who complain about it all day. Sure, their videos can be fun, but all they're doing is taking all of your time and reinforcing what you already know. These new things are trash, bro. Why do they need 35 minutes to tell me that? I'd rather they either show me some new hipster thing that's pretty good, or make something new of their own, because as much as I love the quartering, I don't think I can sit through another Captain Marvel takedown video without wanting to just walk into the ocean. I'm tired. I'm tired and I want more. I want better. And if I can't get better, I'm going back to what was, because it's fun. So just remember, we live in an era of abundance. Nobody starves to death anymore. Nobody gets attacked by bears unless they go out of their way to try and find a bear and to annoy it. So all that's left is for us to conquer our time and our attention and the attention and time of our fellow man. It's the last thing of value you or I have. So don't give it away for nothing, especially if all you're getting in return is a headache and a sour mood, and yet one more video where I have to subscribe to Rumble just to hear about how Captain Marvel is trash. Yeah, looks like somebody brought us the dragon egg. Anyways, back to the book. Let's take a look at where we left off and what we need to do now. So to-do list, I still need the bamboo farm. I still need the wood farm. My super smelter is almost done. I think I'm going to finish this today. Food farms, definitely need to work on that. Semi-auto mudstone, that one's pretty much done. Again, just some beautification. Creeper farm needs some work. Sugarcane farm, haven't even started. Rockets, haven't even started. Sand, gravel. I haven't even been to the end yet, so I need to get there to get that. Yeah, so I'm going to go to super smelter. I need to make this look pretty. Because living like a hobo isn't cool, bro. Alright. Note, we're good to go. As always, we're making the whole of glory glorious. What I might have to do one of these days is, instead of just doing this, just take bone meal and turn it into moss blocks and then just start farming the moss. I kind of want deep slate now, so I don't mind, but eventually I'm going to have to buckle down and do it proper. And that's usually the fastest way if you want to dig these holes past the level 0 bedrock. So, well, how fortuitous is this? We ended up winning one of these geo chummies right at the base. Yeah, I'll tell you this much. They don't call it creative building craft. They don't call it redstone craft. They call it Minecraft. So if you don't have a giant hole that's got 8 or 9 mine shafts sticking out of it looking for diamonds, like what game are you even playing? Really? So like I was telling you, yeah, I was like, with the super smelter, it's just such a pain to get all of those materials in place. So why don't I just make a quick little lava farm and then always have it stocked? It doesn't even matter if you lose or waste it or you're not efficient with your lava, because it's like, it'll make more. And then you can smelt things in giant, like, chests worth. Anywho. What's you? It's just here. Third block. Oh, that was dumb. Get out of here. So we're almost there anyway. Make myself my little note to know which blocks to finish off. As it turns out, you can actually make... Where's my... Oh, there it is. And these ones will each hold 27, which isn't quite enough. But it's good enough for, like, you'll get the whole thing started. You just got to set it up twice. I've almost got it ready. I found out one small issue. Occasionally stuff gets stuck underneath there, because they don't have ice blocks underneath. So, ice farm, it's going to be on the list. But everything else seems to be working fine. Lava's going well. Machine's going well. I would argue it looks not half bad. Yeah. It's not my greatest work, but it's okay. What I'm probably going to do is add some overgrowth on it, and I got to put some stuff in front here. Actually, what I can probably do is fix that up a little bit. I have an idea. Who's ready to see the most I got to get a ladder, because it's like here. Got to parkour up every time. So I'm just going to throw some vines on the side. The idea there, it has like an overgrown look to it. So now everything in here is all fancy and block-like. It's going to have brush on either side of it. And then as it grows down, it'll start to look more and more disheveled. That should work out. It's a good enough start. It should look better once everything's starting to grow in. Oh, well, here goes nothing. Just like that. It's definitely... So I could keep this thing running 24/7, and I think it would actually make enough lava to keep going in perpetuity. I can live with that. Yeah, it's a little slow to do it this way. Probably would have been better if I just got stuff down and dirty, but I like the idea of aesthetics, a little bit of beautification. I like the idea of making the base look good right from the get-go, because it's so much easier to build a bunch of blocks and then make it look better later. So I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'll catch all of you on the next one. Cheers.